Um, I'm here to talk to you about my project Equal. Equal is a purposeful offsetting tool for consumers done through making meaningful investments into technologies that will help us counter the effects of climate change. In short, it's about helping us as consumers buy in, even with the overbearing reality that is our changing climate. We have the power to invest and to make a new future. So I want to ask a question. How many people in this room haven't bought something online? Well, I figured I'd at least get one hand, but I didn't. So, it's growing more and more rapid, especially as interaction designers, that we're developing systems to make buying things online more efficient and faster. We're getting better at shipping things, and that's all great. But with services like Amazon Prime, it grew so quickly, it was so popular. It lost Amazon in the first year 9 cents on every dollar of revenue because they miscalculated the shipping cost. Amazon has continued to raise that price every year, including about 3 weeks ago. Part of the problem is this thing. 90% of everything that we have comes on things like this. These ships are extremely emissions heavy. 16 of these ships make up all of the emissions of every car on Earth. Let me say that again. 16 of these ships make up all of the emissions of every car on Earth because they burn a type of fuel that's 4,000 times more sulfuric than anything that's allowed to be burned on land. These ships also, there's a ship that comes into the UK every year that they've nicknamed Santa Claus because it brings all of the Christmas presents in October. So again, Equal, my project, is about helping us offset, a tool for consumers to make meaningful investments into technologies that will help us combat climate change and hopefully build a more sustainable planet. There are 4 main areas to my project. The first is corporate and consumer responsibility. The second is what I call climate guilt, which I'll get into a little bit later. The third is social capital. And the fourth is crowdfunding. So first, where do corporations see the largest opportunities to tackle climate change? The CDC in the UK asked them this question in 2012. The responses were that 5% said that increasing humanitarian demands. Only 7% of the world's leading corporations said that it would come from fluctuating socioeconomic conditions. 56% of corporations said that it would actually come from changing the consumer's behavior. This is why I want to talk about what I call climate guilt. I call it the light bulb problem. When we were first faced with the reality of a changing climate, Duke Energy came out in 2007 and said, well, we could fix this if we all just bought new light bulbs. Not that that won't help, but the fact is that Duke Energy sells light bulbs. So how do we help people not feel guilty? That's a big part of the next area, which is social capital. So what is offsetting? Equal defines offsetting as investing in the future of technologies to help us build a more sustainable world. Climate change is just one of many issues we will have and face on this planet. Sustainability should be our ultimate goal as its inhabitants. For years, we've been pouring money into software and tech startups, primarily for the fun and expressive mediums of being social. Sustainable technologies need our support too. We don't always understand how hard they can be to kickstart. In this prototype, offsets are evaluated for the user by 3 metrics. The first is energy and material costs, which is the basis of what it takes to make the product. The second is shipping and its efficiency, so how far it came, how quickly, and by what means. And the third is what I call human impact. Human impact is about the human cost of a purchase. Who made it? Were there fair wages? Were the working conditions good? So social capital is about buying in. Let's say Aaron, Sarah, and Tony all buy the same product. Then that is brought to an average, and the average helps us calculate the offset cost but it also helps us make a benchmark. Then the data can be used as a sustainable shopping reference once there's enough active usage. The last part of the prototype, and the prototype itself, is about crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is a newish interaction for people to help ignite change in the world. Kickstarter, since it came about, has raised over $1 billion on 61,000 projects. Crowdfunding is incredibly efficient. What Equal wants to do is help you offset your purchases into carbon-reducing investments. The first step is to forward an email or take a photo with your phone. So here, Erin's made an Etsy transaction, and she's forwarding it to the Equal service. The next step is to set the receipt based on energy use, shipping, and human impact, the 3 metrics I talked about before. Next is to offset them into a sustainable tech market. And then lastly, follow those investments in your portfolio online. So in closing, sustainability truly is the key to our future. Corporate consumer responsibility is where it has to start. Equal seeks to help us feel less sluggish about climate change and empower us to tackle it. Social capital gives us a stakeholder-like superpowers. And actually being an investor in new technologies gives us a bigger reach and a better future. Thank you.